Hey guys, welcome to Beyond Conditioning, where I like to discuss different topics that we are conditioned to see in one way, but here we like to go into different avenues of how we can view it from different perspectives and just understanding it from a way where it's not something against us, but it's something for us or something that's navigating us through life. Today, I wanted to talk about how we do a lot of the same things. We're quick to see in others what we don't like, but we are slow to see that it's in us too. So you might not like when people lie. You might not lie. You might not like when people try to be something to, fit in. It's a lot of things you might not like. I'm trying to think, but it's a lot of examples. Just anything that you don't like that people do, there's a part of you to do the same thing. You just do not acknowledge it, or you don't see it, or maybe nobody in your circle ever told you how. And it's not told you like how you do it, as in like when you tell them, they tell you how you done it, but more so when they experience it from you, they might not say like, hey, you just lied to me, or hey, you just, they might not call you out as much as you might call them out. And so today's topic is just about you're not being the identity that you think people put on you. I think that defensiveness, not being able to allow people to express how they feel, comes from you thinking that they are identifying you as something that you don't like, whether that's being the bad person, being the wrong person, just all negative things that you wouldn't want to be labeled as. And so we try to protect ourselves by recalling the things that they've done, or by not really wanting to sit with how they express that you've made them feel. And this is a very complex topic, honestly, because it really deals with everyday life, how we really navigate and move through life, because we can take anything, personal. And one of the four agreements, if you haven't read the book Four Agreements, you should. You're not supposed to take anything personal, because when you take it personal, you're taking it towards your identity, and your identity is really infinite. You're going to be the good person. You're going to be the bad person. You're going to be the mad person. You're going to be the person who's sensitive. You're going to be the the mean person. You're going to be the joyful person. You're going to be the exciting person. You're going to be the not too easy to get along person. You're going to be the person who's looking at people's issues, like judgment person. Like, you're going to be all of that. Why? Because we go through phases, experiences, and journeys in life. And although you might not label yourself in those ways, there's someone else out here that would say like, oh yeah, you are that type of person, or yeah, you do have some tendencies of that, or yeah, I've seen you exhibit that behavior before. And I'm here to tell all of us, including myself, we have to not take those things personal, but we also have to accept that however we made a person feel is how we made a person feel. I think that it's very hard for us to accept it. Like, even if you want, I think that's why the world struggles with feeling like they can be vulnerable or emotional with anyone, because the first time that you've expressed how you feel, somebody looked at you as you probably was the bad person. They probably flipped it back on you and was like, no, you did this or you did that, tried to make you feel bad, because originally what you said must have triggered something in them to make them think that you think that they're a bad, person, or whatever the case may be, that triggered them to feeling however they feel. And I just want all of us to kind of process this, because I do think that a lot of the stories that I hear comes from, I wasn't able to express my emotions as a kid, or I wasn't able to be honest. And we have the saying, truth hurts. And I think it only truly hurts because we take it personal to our identity and who we are and how we move through life. When I think if we accept that, okay, in that moment, maybe I was this. Okay, in that moment, maybe I could have been a little bit more nicer, or I was gonna say sweeter, I mean, depending on the situation. We just have to take those moments, but we're such in like a fast-paced kind of lifestyle where when somebody does say something, it's like your whole body, your mind, like it all, like you feel something energetically, just whether it's in your head, your body, and you just like no, like your first reaction is to not accept it. Like, no, you're not gonna tell me this, you're not gonna tell me that when you did this or when you did that. You're not gonna do this, you're gonna be grateful, you're gonna, it's a lot of things that can fall into play when it comes to you telling people how you feel and learning how to receive how people are feeling. So some practical tips is to, one, don't take it personal. You have to practice this. That's another thing. None of the things or in any of my videos, I don't want you to try to be perfect at it, because we're not perfect beings. I just want you to practice it. Or in your time of reflection, remember, one thing that I do for reflection, and I heard it from a video. Michael Beckwith is the guy who talk about it, but he says at the end of his night, he scanned through his day, he forgives. He forgives whatever, the people he might have felt did him wrong or did something towards him, and he forgives himself, And for me, I've started to take on that as a nightly thing that I do, where I really like sit with myself and I forgive people, but I don't just forgive people because I'm like, oh yeah, they did me wrong. When I forgive myself, it's forgiving myself for projecting that onto them. For me thinking like they were trying to do me wrong, or for me thinking that, work is trying to overwork me. This is an example I want to get. Like, there's parts of my job where I feel like we do not have enough people to, there wasn't enough people scheduled on one occasion. And I felt like, oh my goodness, it was so much. I was so busy trying to do this, trying to do that, whipping around. And a part of me was just like annoyed that nobody really scheduled. But then on the other hand, when I did that reflection and like forgiveness part, I was just like, I forgive myself for thinking that I couldn't even handle it. Cause we had, like, at the end of the day, we still had like, it might have been busy, but we still had like a smooth day. Like, we got through it. It wasn't too hectic where we just wanted to like go crazy from the experience, So I was just like, I forgive myself from looking at it from that point of view. And that's really what I mean by when I say forgive yourself, and how you decided to project on what you've seen and what you experienced and what you could take and what you couldn't take. And, see the overall picture of like, you got through it. And if, I was gonna say, if you didn't get through it, forgiving the people that you feel like, or forgiving yourself. When I say also forgive people, I'm saying forgive people for, the things that you feel like they did. So it's like, okay, on one side, it's like you forgiving people for what you feel like they did, so your projection. And then the other side is for you forgiving yourself for projecting that outcome and narrative in your life. So I just feel like that kind of helped a lot, and it really gets you to slow down your day, or just really think about things from a different perspective. So the third thing, is there a third thing? Yeah, this is coming off the top of my head, so if there's some mess ups, that's because it's coming off the top of my head. The third thing is be patient with yourself. Like I said, this is all a practice, so you can't expect yourself to know how to do this the next day, or to be perfect at it, or just give yourself grace. Like, you're on a journey, you're trying to figure it out, and each day is different from the next day. Although it's like it might be the same habits and same, environment, but things can be seen differently, or something might have changed in that day. So just give yourself grace. I think a big part is loving yourself. And loving yourself is accepting that you are everything. You are everything all at once. So remembering that, hey, if somebody do say that you a mad person, maybe that moment you were mad. You know, don't connect moments with identity. I think that's the biggest key. Don't connect moments with identity. But just know, like, yes, you do have moments like this. And even if somebody try to project it on you, like, you're always, you can just accept it. Of course, you know that maybe that mean in a lot of different moments they have experience and remember that. But you still have to love yourself, give yourself grace, and try to move through it. And that a part of it is accepting how they feel, but also knowing that you're not this bad, individual in the world just trying to bring havoc to the people. So my battery is about to die, but thank you guys, and I will see you